So I designed and forged an EDC knife because I wanted one that had the convex grind. It had this particular blade shape. The ergonomic handle was easy to resharpen, it was light and easy to carry. Let me demonstrate to you each of those factors in the Mars Fire Swallow. So firstly, I wanted a knife that had a convex edge, and that's just a knife that's ground from spine to edge in one continuous curve. Here's a flat ground. From spine to relief edge is flat, and then the relief edge is cut from that. Here is a saber ground, flat here, and then the grind begins there, and we have the relief edge. The convex, again, is from spine to edge, one continuous curve. This creates a very sharp and keen edge, but it's also a very durable edge. Not to mention, they're easy to resharpen, which we'll get to in a moment. Notice with something like a flat grind, it's fairly thin behind the edge, and that can lead to less stability in the blade, whereas a convex grind, it's not thick, but it's a little more beefy behind the edge, and that makes these a lot more stable and durable. With a piece of leather like this, notice how I'm not able to really push through it easily with a different grind, though it's fully sharpened. Now let's try it with a convex grind. It bites deeply. Superior design. Next is the blade shape. Notice the overall edge is fairly straight, only coming up slightly towards the tip. That's going to maintain maximum cutting power all the way out to the tip. Classically, with most knives, once you get about 3/4 of the way through, the knife will slide past this last bit because it is curving away from the media into which you're cutting. That's not the case with this design. You cut straight all the way to the end. Even at the very last bit, you're able to put force into what you're cutting. That's because of that blade shape. I'll demonstrate that. Just cutting at the very tip of the blade, able to get through that rope, 1 inch. Same thing, cutting at the very tip of the blade here, not a chance, because there's my cut, because the blade is moving away from the media, not into the media. I also wanted a knife with proper taper. Notice it's thickest here in the center, and then it gets thinner, 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 all the way out to the tip. Most knives stay thick too long. They're thick too close to the tip. What that does is it reduces penetration and it reduces cutting power close to the tip. Look at this one, how it just cuts in. Or the falcon even here, how thick it is out towards the tip. The secret is, as the width of the knife is reduced, the spine width also needs to be reduced in order to maintain a consistent cutting angle on the edge. If the spine stays thick while the blade gets narrow, you're going to have a thick cutting edge and it's not going to go through material. Notice how with a Swallow, I can effortlessly cut through the leather with the very tip of the knife. That's because of the taper we just talked about. Compare that with the K-bar here, which has some taper, but it starts too far towards the end of the blade to be super effective. I'm trying to cut through, and all I'm doing is just scoring instead of cutting completely through. That's not sharpness, that's taper and design. Again, I can cut very well, even towards the very tip of this knife. You're never going to be able to do that with another knife. Next up is this ergonomic handle. It is made perfectly for your hand. Curl in the fingers, put on the thumb. It is very comfortable, very secure. Even while being a short overall grip, you can get a full grip on it because of the way it's designed. And it's not just the profile, it's also how wide it is. It's also how these edges taper upward. Rather than being a sharp square, they are rounded. But they're not so rounded that it twists in your hand. There's a lot of design that goes into this. The scalloping of the micarta really feels good and secure in the hand, not to mention the jimping right up here on the thumb ramp give you something to lock your thumb into. Whether it's forward grip or reverse grip or something like choking up on it and putting your finger on the blade, this handle is very ergonomic, very comfortable, and works perfectly for everyday chores. An EDC knife needs to be able to be sharpened easily and expediently in a number of different environments, and the convex edge is perfect for that. Because the edge is organically curved, You don't need a completely flat surface to sharpen this knife on. You can use a river stone, you can use the top of a window when it comes to your window rolling up and down in your car. You can use, what I love to use, just a piece of leather with some compound rubbed into it. So look at this. All I do is put it on a piece of leather with some compound rubbed in and just tilt it until you see the shadow go away. Now you know your blade is contacting the leather perfectly, and just strop back and forth. And I'm telling you, this brings it back to a hair wiping sharp edge. It feels like you're like a squeegee, like you're wiping the hair off your arm when you do that. That's all you need, just a piece of leather, and this thing will stay sharp for as long as you use it. Perhaps before you've been skinning an animal and you start to feel your edge slipping rather than slicing. If that were to happen with a Mars Fire knife, you just take it, you'd have a piece of leather, maybe it's your belt, strop it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and you're gonna be back to slicing wickedly sharp. So the ease at which you can resharpen these is a huge advantage if you want a knife you're actually gonna use long-term throughout the duration of your life. Next is how light this is and easy it is to carry. You got a 3-ounce knife, add the sheath to there, 4 ounces. Most phones weigh, I don't know, anywhere from 7 to 8 ounces. So it's very light and easy to carry with you. Look at some of the options you have for mounting it. And these are so easy to carry. My favorite way is just to put it just a little offset from the belt buckle, sideways right here on the front. It's not jutting out anywhere. It's not banging into stuff. You can get at it when you're sit down really easily. You can get at it with either hand, which makes it nice. It's also very low profile because it's in line with your belt, so it doesn't attract a lot of attention. Also, mounting things horizontally like this is good because your body moves along these lines here. If you have something that's perpendicular, that means it pokes your leg, it pokes the seat you're sitting in. It might poke into you like this. As you bend down, reach to get stuff, it protrudes. It shows something that is with your body horizontally like this. It moves with the lines of your body. So you don't even know it's there, especially because it's so light and it's so easy to get quickly when you want it. And even with something like a t-shirt, it's gone until you want it, and then it's there, and once you don't want it anymore, it's gone again. So easy to have without anyone having to know about it. That's just one of the many ways to carry it. Because you have the eyelets here, you can put clips on here, you can run paracord through there. There's a lot of creative ways to attach this to belts or in your pocket or on a backpack. This is limited only by your creativity. You can carry this a number of ways. And again, the ease of carry is another reason why I made this EDC fixed blade. So there's my reasoning for making my own EDC fixed blade from Mars Fire Forge. These are all handmade. They're all made one at a time with a hammer and anvil, old-fashioned techniques. They all perform just as well as this one do. And right now, the beginning of 2026, I am selling these for $165 a piece. Now, that is not sustainable as I do each one hand forged, but that's what they are for sale now. And if you'd like one, I'd love to make you one. The price is going to raise later on. If you'd like to inquire about these, send me an email at marsfireforge@gmail.com or just go right to the website, marsfireforge.com. You'll see the Swallow listed on there. You can put in an order there. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Please like the video if you liked it. And if you did enjoy this video, feel free to go back to my previous videos and look through the playlist there. If you like this, you're gonna like all the stuff I've done in the past as well. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.